looking at the world through complete non-judgment. And there's something so beautiful about that because if I can look at every single situation, and I will not say that I'm perfect at this, but this is my intention, is to when I can look at every single situation from the through the eyes of innocence, life gets richer, life gets more powerful, and life gets so much happier because I'm no longer taking another's misery personally. In fact, life gets more humorous as well.
That's how you know you crossed over. But where you realize that nothing that comes at you is meant to offend you. It wasn't done, with purpose in that regard.
One day when I just felt like I'd had enough, I knew that I wasn't going to take my own life. I felt like there was a seed of something within me that was guiding me and to knowing that there was more, there was something more. And I went upstairs to my room, got on my hands and knees, put my hands together and said, God, please show me another way to live. I know there's another way. I can feel it. I don't know what it is. And I surrendered. I didn't know that that's what I was doing, but I surrendered my whole life, everything to God with no expectation of anything. It was just a moment of knowing that I couldn't continue in the same way, that I couldn't be stuck in my head with all this drama that was constantly going on and really beating me down in a lot of ways. So a dark night of the soul, it really was. And within 24 hours, I was in a state of bliss. I can only describe it as that because it was so beautiful. It was like everything had lifted off me. There were no worries, no concerns about anything. And
This
I
was
was,
20 this was 2012.
yeah, and I was very aware not to hold on to it and but also not to push it away. So I kind of inwardly was saying to myself, you need to be with this. You need to not hold on to it, not push it away. You need to relax with this because it's come out of nowhere. It could go any moment. Who knows when it's going to go, if it's going to go. So just sit with it and give it space. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
And it was incredible.
The face of I call it the cosmic Christ appeared in the trees and had a conversation with me. And it was a beautiful thing. It was like a couple of the out of bodies. I had the same feelings of peace and love and such. There was a quick communication. And the next day, my world changed. And 6 weeks later, I went, by my own choice, I went on the streets homeless for a couple of years. And it was a hell of a journey. And it was a very spiritual, transformative time. But what you said occurred, or it happened to me at that time. It was in those conditions. I found myself, I guess. I found that oneness, at least in fits and spurts, and anything and everything that happened to me, I was okay. You know, six cops bang on the door, break it down, take me to jail. I'm okay. This, I'm okay. That, I'm okay. Whatever it was, I'm okay. Because I knew I wasn't this, but I also knew that there was a purpose for what was happening. But yeah, it makes sense to me that why would it be any different?
I feel I feel now very soon it will be time for action, but in a bigger way for light workers. Many have been like sleeper cells, silent, hidden, just doing a lot of inner work, a lot of inner processing, doing the stuff more like on the down low. And now I feel it's like return to the world.
And if I go back, to when we started doing work, or the show started in like 2017, I remember so many of the sisters in their stories saying that at some point we're going to be put to work. Everybody was like me too. Everybody during that 12-year period after the 2012 was trying to do it. You know, like, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm supposed to do. And then everything went away. It's like 2024 and this year have just been like a burn. Like, I've seen so many things collapse. I mean, I dropped down to like 10 shows a month for 2 years, and it just I was guided to close the website that I'd created in 2023, and I was guided to do that, but I was also guided to close it because it said it's got too much of the old in it. And so I guess what I'm saying is that that's what it feels like to me. It feels like there's going to be such a shift in consciousness universally and quickly that almost like COVID on steroids,
Yes,
that
yeah.
it's going to trigger and activate something.
You have always said, if humanity knew truly what was happening right now, they'd be dancing in the streets.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, reality was described to me as the extraordinary ordinariness. So the ordinary side of reality is this thing with, it's like, that's all we see it as. The extraordinariness of reality connecting with the two is what transforms the ordinary everyday life back into what it should have been. Open contact with the Galactic Federation, who are our genetic family, literally their family. Why are they alien? God said, why are they alien? We say to you, they are your brothers and sisters.
I tell everyone that. They
The
love
joy-
us so much. They are
And look-
championing us. They love us. They're cheerleaders. But like, you put all that personality and joy and character and humor, eternity doesn't sound so bad.
Everything that's out of the way, we just come back to who we were: playful, open, loving life, curious about life, and able to create like
This is the real Renaissance.
Spirituality and science, when you put them together, bang.
But since I met you, you've always said this to me. You have always said, if humanity knew truly what was happening right now, they'd be dancing in the streets.
Yeah.
If they really had an understanding of this, it would be celebrate, celebrate, celebrate.
God said we would not like to be in their shoes. If you play your cards right, if if the human race gets this right, and it's a bit dodgy, hopefully, we would not like to be in their shoes. Full stop.
I'm so glad I'm not.
Because it's like we focus on the density, and rightly so, with the conditioning, the programming, the shadows, that whole trip. It was all part of like, something's wrong with you, it's all part of like, you got to figure your way out of this matrix. Well, you don't have to figure your way out of this matrix. Matrix, if you look at the etymology in Greek, is mother, mater, and the other one is womb.
Outside may trigger you, so politics may trigger you, or stuff that happens. The control system either likes to attack the mental side, so the physical reality, your safety, or the health of things, your physical health, or the finances, and that's on the heart side. Both are. And if you get triggered, then it's finding out, why am I triggered? Where did that fear, where's that anxiety come from? Where is that worry come from? It's really like you become a detective of self. So I've just been using life and everything that happens in my life, how I react, I've become conscious of, and why have I reacted that way? Is that thought? Where's that thought come from? Why do I think like that? It's kind of like being really anal about yourself. I go a bit self-obsessed. But it's been the way to heal and understand who I am and who I'm not, and transform myself.
It's a bit hard to kind of comprehend and figure it all out, but I go back to what you said earlier, and that is the only way it is going to work. And that's another thing I was told a long time ago. I was told, like, what do you do with all this information? Okay. And I was told, well, don't do anything that you've done before. Try something new from the heart and proceed from there. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening.
I'm prompted to share one of my favorite passages from the Bible. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I have become the sounding brass or a clanging bell. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I could move mountains, but have not love, I am not.
Haven't seen the first show. We didn't go into depth because I know that's some of the shows that I've watched her on, they go into depth with what her experience was, and that's not to make light of it. I've been very impressed with her work because of what she's gone through the MK Ultra, through the connections with the royal family, and just all that fuckery, if you don't mind me using that word. Yet has been able to come out of it and tap in as a result, as a lot of people can relate to. When they have successive trauma as a child, they disassociate, which is another way of saying they learn to connect with their soul, their higher self, their soul family, whatever all those spaces of the universe is. You can't, every fourth, fifth video that I go down on YouTube is somebody's channeling now. I mean, you remember 5, 6 years ago, nobody channeled, right? Nobody did light language. It wasn't very prominent. We'd have people come on the show and do it. It'd be the first time I heard it, 2017, 2018. So I'm just wondering, at the end of the day, maybe I'm answering my own question, but is everything falls away? Like
Everything falls away. Yeah.
So keep it
because
simple.
the connection, it's a psyop. It's to get you distracted away from yourself. You know what you need to do in order to get your life better. You know what you need to look at. You don't need to be told by an ET. So let's try and get us empowered and not manipulate ourselves or deceive ourselves of our own empowerment that we need to have, and placing power in something outside of ourselves. It's an old system that's been around for a very long time, and it hits the inner child that wants to be looked after, that somebody's looking after us, and actually it's our time to become empowered, human race to become empowered.
I don't think any other species in this entire universe has the ability that we do to work with our co-creative force to manifest in the very unique ways that we are able to, and haven't been able to, I feel like maybe haven't fully been able to allow to, or to fully step into when we're carrying density. But the level of clearing and shifting that we've done over various years and through our awakening process, that is brutal for a reason, is so that we can refine ourselves, because anything that we are going to create has to be embodied by us and through us.
We're no longer, I watched this shift happen doing the show where the practitioners started dropping modalities and even their practices, dismantling websites, so on and so on. What I'm saying is, the day of the healer client is.
That's the experience when we upgrade, or in our dream world, or in our meditation, or in just the space where it happens automatically. So then it feels like everything what's 3D or what's in the material world, it feels so unreal, because our spectrum is still integrating in this whole new field. So me too, I had some revelation dreams the last days, which is, when I have them, they're very, very precise.
So your greatest strength can be your greatest weakness, meaning you get overindulgent, over-identified with one or the other. And it's obviously easier to do if you're in a male body to say, I'm a masculine. Well, I know there's a reason for me being in a male body, but however, I'm a soul, period. And I am feminine and I am masculine. And they are united within me. So this rhetoric, and I still see it today, and it pisses me off sometimes for a second because I don't get hung up on it. But I see it. I saw several today. If a man loves a woman, then a man's going to do this and he's going to do that. And fuck that shit. It works both ways. We're not even paying attention to that anymore because we're all more present with ourselves and with each other, right? It's like we're coming out now.
Yes. Yes, because we are carrying the source code, and this is actually what's happening. You know, our full expression through our cellular system and DNA. So of course, there's many memories, but what we really are, that's the oneness, the one consciousness.
This is the thickest, deepest, darkest densities that we've ever traversed. And when you make peace, really make peace, not just fucking lip service, with those physical incarnates that have been your antagonists or whatever the case is, that's a multi-dimensional quantum entanglement. Can't even speak to it. It's exponential beyond that.
That level of power, I'm not even speaking so much even metaphorically, like it was like the power of the sun and the nuclear fusion that goes on in the heart of the sun was like I could see and feel in your solar plexus area and radiating out from there.
It's real intel. It's real, and we're bigger. We're bigger than all of those narratives and commercialization of the, of the light workers, star seeds, and here's how you do it, and this is the only way. No, no, we're all starting to come together with the same story, and I feel like the only thing that we're lacking is the awareness.
I woke up in the middle of the night saying out loud, if this is all there is to life, I could die right now and I wouldn't care. And I think we all know that feeling because, we've been running from this since we were children without even knowing what we were running from. It's just this unknown. When you're a little kid, all you know is the adults around you aren't happy with you in different moments, or you're put in situations that it's way too overwhelming and you feel like it's you. You take it on like it's you because that's how it seems.
You don't know any better. You're
You
not.
don't know anybody yet. I woke up in the middle of the night saying out loud, if this is all there is to life, I could die right now and I wouldn't care. And I think we all know that feeling. You know that feeling. You hit the end of the road because it's a finite energy. It's not love. You're not in this sort of infinite energy loop of connecting with what is. Your energy connects with what is, and you're constantly being nourished by the love of the all that is coming to you in each experience and loving each experience.
But the Arcturians told him, and we've heard this before, but it carried a whole different feeling for me, that by the end of the year, we won't recognize ourselves anymore. And so this is going along the lines with what you're bringing to the table. What I can kind of go, oh yeah, I'm getting that too. But I really feel like this 10, 11, and 12 is really like a 1, 2, and a 3. So the ones are kind of what we've come into in the last week, the things that are going to kind of come to fruition in 30 days, around the 1st of November through maybe the 11th or the 12th, or something's going on there. It's like we're hatching out of the egg.
And I was like, oh, 1212 is really going to be a cosmic rebirth of integrating these cosmic or galactic versions of ourselves. And that's, I believe, is what sparks the entrance of this new reality.
The shit we have to face in life that helps us understand that we can only do our best. We can't measure ourselves against what someone else thinks our best is, or, all that crazy shit.
Yeah. Got to have the discordant to have the other end of it, the beauty, right?
And it's sexy. It's man and woman. It's,
Yeah.
that's what it is, ladies, you guys are tension. Okay. Shit is happening.
Yeah.
And fellas, you just want everything to be motherfucking cool. Okay. Just fucking be cool. Okay. Yeah.
They're the curves and we're the water. I mean, they're the curves and we're the straight lines.
Right. Right. But, we have something to teach each other, and I think that's really cool. Music is like that. I think our life experience is like that, and I think that spirituality is going to become more practical for people because there's physics that are real simple that we really haven't looked at, um, from a vibrational perspective. You know, it's hard for us to think that we are vibration, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
hard to like really understand what that means on a daily basis in our life,
Yeah.
and how our feelings are affecting the first attention or the first world, in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I always like to think about people's lives in their astrology chart as the music they're running around with life and the things they're playing out, and the chords they're kicking it with. Is it a minor chord? Is it major? Is it harmonious? Is it dissonant?
And it's so easy to be here and think, oh gee, just get me out of here, I just want to leave,
Yeah.
I want to go back to where the light is, and I just, I can't deal. But if we could see the gift of being here and to actually be here to help the planet transform is a huge thing for
And
the soul to come and do that and to experience that.
yes.
To experience that transition is amazing. It
Well,
doesn't
and then
always feel like that at times, but
right, we have to get to that point. Each person has to get to that point where they pull their head out of the cognitive dissonance. And we've all had it to different degrees, whether it be about a relationship or a person or a business or a world or whatever belief system. That's the big pill that people are having to swallow.
And what they said has always stuck. And it's that the ones here are the leaders there. Now, I remember when I was really first awakening, and I kept going, I don't understand. What are we doing? Why are we here? Like none of it made any sense to me. And what they said has always stuck. And it's that the ones here are the leaders there.
Yeah.
And I said, well, okay, but then why? Like, what is the purpose? And they said to me, what if your leaders, okay, so we're talking, let's talk the president or Congress or Parliament or whatever. What if they had intimate knowledge of starvation, war, rape, whatever, all of these things? They had intimate knowledge. How would it influence their decisions?
Yeah.
And it would, right?
Yeah.
So they had said there's so many here, all these souls here that are in this experience are leaders elsewhere. And you're going to walk away from this experience going, I understand what can be created and what it feels like to be in this position or have this happen. So my decisions and how I go forward once this experience is done is going to be colored by this experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we've learned, and it's in that learning to where we can say, I don't need these games anymore. I'm done. And I can hold the line and wait until everyone else is done.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially what's being asked of us now.
And that's the whole point, Katie, because what's never happened before is average people who've never really asked these sorts of questions before suddenly being put in a situation where they are. Who are they going to relate to? People who've gone through the same process and they're at a certain point where they can turn around and say, it's okay, and here's my hand, and basically
Yes,
just
and that's another thing I see happening with our friend Sam and Mike and Ann, like starting videos that used to bring us comfort and clarity and even information. Starting videos now, we can feel seconds in that they are no longer for us. And it's not that they're bad or wrong or anything. It's somewhere between like it's now a grassroots movement. Like it's got to come from us. The voice, the experience is coming from those on the ground, walking through fire, feeling this hell, this not being able to kumbaya, rah, rah, ayahuasca your way out of this shit, not outsource it to anything or anyone else. And that's why nothing resonates with us. Nothing gives us comfort other than God and knowing there's a purpose, even if we don't know it right now.
Do we trust ourselves? The fear of the unknown, the fear of the ghost. But what ghost is that? It's not outside of us. It's inside of us. Do we trust ourselves? Do we have faith in ourselves? When we pray to that which is all, do we give ourselves the same level of reverence and respect? I feel like this is what's happening now. So the grime, the greasiness, the salaciousness, the kinkiness, the fucked upness, whatever the case is, and whether you've had it in your thought, your words, or your actions, or all of the above, I'm guilty. You got to own it, like everything else, in order to unleash this newest seed, basically, this newest creation, this new earth that we've all been talking about. It's important. It's important. I feel like that the greatest code that we can offer each other at this time is to have conversations like this and invite these things out, and not be afraid, because it's happened to everybody.
But ultimately, we're all connected to it. So the idea of talking about it is one of the ways that we release the pressure that has been building up for eons about subjects that people feel are taboo, that they don't want to talk about. And that's where the pain is. That's where the buildup of the hurt is. And once you get into that and you can feel comfortable with the uncomfortable, get in touch with your discomfort, love the source of discomfort. That's when you rise above.
And these mantids walk in and they're like, hey, we just no disrespect, mantid aspects, because we know you're very high frequency. But hey, Alicia, we don't want you to worry because we got your back. And then you said to me one of the most profound things, and I know I've said some things to the universal before, but I thought this was so ballsy. You're like, yeah, but what about my emotional health? What about my emotions? And they're like, as highly intelligent that they are, they said, oh, we didn't figure that in. Well, you can't figure that in because it takes being boots on the ground to do that. And I really feel like the reason that I'm bringing this up right now, and I didn't do this premeditatively, but is because this is where we're at now. It's our code. It's our choices. It's our memories coming back. It's what we do with those things. And the only way to work this shift out is to talk about it. And as we talk about it, just like Emma Edwards said on that post, she said, Alicia makes me understand it's not just me. And I think that's really what it is, because we all think we're weird. And based on this world, which is fucking weird, we're not the fucking weirdos. But yeah, I love that story. It's been one of the great impressions upon me in the work that I've done the last 13, 14.
You're not being controlled anymore, and then you just find yourself in this nice neutral state. I call it the Zen state. That's how people understand it, right? There's not highs, there's not lows, there's just nice and neutral. And it's calm, it's peaceful. It is a nice way to look at life.
As I'm walking up, a beautiful blue black panther comes down the feminine side, right? Oh, wow. So anyway, this whole thing ensued, and then I got to a point where I met the panther, like looking at you, like just right across from me. And as soon as we locked eyes, this giant golden star appeared on its head and shot out at me and hit me.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, what?
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. It was pretty wild. And I remembered it just verbatim, And then after that, there was behind it, because we were outside when I met the panther. We were outside. We weren't in the building. And then behind the panther, when the gold thing happened, all of these orbs appeared in the night sky, and they started shooting light beams, and they all came and hit me. And then there was a bunch of sacred geometry and stuff. So, I think this is kind of what we're moving into, is these, the fusion of what we've known life to be and what really our natural nature, natural means of communication, multidimensional communication or connect.
It's not even possible that somebody would make us mad, because we make ourselves mad, don't we? Like, yeah. we agree to be mad, we agree to whatever. And actually we were teaching this with the kids in in my school today. We were
Yeah.
explaining, like, if somebody tells something not nice about you, well, you just kind of like tune to your heart, tune to, is this true for me? Is this how I feel myself, how I experience? And if it's not, which is not, okay, just like, you know, you don't have to care about it. This is like his or her view, and it has nothing to do with you. So
that's right.
But we are
That's
learning, like kids are learning, parents are learning, teachers are learning. We all are still learning this lesson, and it's so important to learn this. Really good.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like we put too much power on the outside of us and not enough on the inside of us. So the focus has to be on the inside of us. So the focus has to be on the inside. If you've got a relationship, and you've got you're in a relationship, and the partner comes home, and his reality affects your reality, and therefore how you feel about your life will depend on how they are feeling. We'd call that an abusive relationship, yeah, because it's like, okay, I don't know how I feel. And that's what most people do with the governments and what's going on.
Yeah, that is incredible, right? That is truly incredible, because I mean, honestly, it'll be so good if more of us come out, which we are, because we need to normalize even all of these so-called psychic abilities. I don't like to use that word because it has a gatekeeping aspect. Intuition, clairvoyance, clairaudience, like any of those psychic abilities, it's really innate. We all have it. We might not know what it's called. We might not trust it, right? But if you wish to tap in, if you wish to sharpen it, develop it, or not develop, remembering it, because we all have it, you can. You absolutely can.
But we still have work to do. We're still going down that final stretch, and whatever it is that needs to burn off is the deepest part of the deep. And I know people personally who are going through things very physically, much more than me, and I'm having some issues, but it's like the most deepest blockages we have, implants, whatever you want to call it, concentrated angst and fear and darkness, whatever you want to call it, is breaking up in the body. And that should tell us all something about the level that the level that we've reached in terms of this transformation that we've talked about all these years, which either we were wrong and full of shit, or we really are transforming from an organic, carbon-based body to a crystalline light body, or something in between. We just tell them this is where all the crazy people meet now. Crazy's not crazy anymore. I was telling my guest on the last show that I saw an article. I read an article yesterday, and I won't get into the intricacies of it, but basically what it was talking about is that the whatever study it was, that the majority of geniuses on the earth are in mental institutions. And, and the whole idea of multiple personalities, or people having that shamanic quality, being able to see to the other side, whatever their clairs may be, and not being able to fit into society, but that they're actually super intelligent by human standards, so maybe that's all going to get straightened out too.
Yeah, they haven't been able to figure out a way of communicating what it is that they're getting that doesn't sound crazy,
The past is in the past, right? When you are on the 104 frequency, you remember that you are a fluid being. You are a fluid, always changing being. So people always ask me why I paint myself, right? Or why I change so much. It's because when I paint myself every day different, I look at myself in the mirror and I see every day a different something. And that helps me to keep in the, okay, so, today I will paint myself like this, and I'm changing. So today I'm not the same as I was tomorrow. So this letting go of everything that happens also along the day, and be open to experience something.
And it's burn, baby, burn, no more. We're in the no BS zone.
We are.
Yeah. And if we can be honest with ourselves, which I think we are more than we've thought, but now it's like you know, now it's like the final call. Like, you
Yeah.
know, you're going to be straight with yourself. And this is the information we share with you.
The final point of their plan is their most vulnerable point. They will lose control of the narrative. This will undo, divide, and conquer. So the process playing out unifies us around this. The problem they had with COVID, what they've always relied on is divide and conquer, means keeping our attentions fractured so that we're divided in where we put our attention. So for 12,000 years, the human race hasn't had, it's been all over the place. We haven't been unified. What COVID's done is created a global single point of focus that every human on the planet is aware of. We have one, the lie around that being exposed means, what if they lied about that, what else have they lied about? And that question is playing out within the systems of government, military. Now, there are elements within those systems that have always known this, but what's always missing is the people on the street.
The reason we're healing is because Mother Earth is healing. We're following the mother of the planet, our planet. So when we remove all the deception and the lies that we've told ourselves, when we're true to ourselves, when we know ourselves, when we're healing ourselves, we're also bringing that light into the planet. And that then is seeing why we're seeing all the systems that they're struggling. We're seeing what they're doing. They can't lie the way people are waking up more and more. And that's because people are changing, because the earth is changing. When you're a child, you'll go to the frequency of your mother. You stay in that frequency. Even if your mother is depressed, you'll go to that frequency. And if a child goes too high, the mother will, or the father will put them back down into the frequency of the family. But it's exactly the same what happens on the planet. When we go to connection to us, your heart connection, it connects to the planet you're on. So you can feel the trees and the animals and everything. You're part of the planet.
Leadership is not a feminine function. It's not a masculine function. It's a dance. It's a whole function. But I was just watching this lady and talking to her about it, and you know, the point being, the direction is the masculine, and that ability to ride the waves of the river, that's the feminine as it goes, and that adaptability. And they all talk reactivity. You know, we need to be reactive. I said, well, no, you don't. You lose all your power when you're reactive, because when you're reactive, all the power in the situation goes to that thing which is triggering the reaction. You can start to move out of that to become responsive, but still the power in the situation is still from the trigger. If you become interactive, then that's when you actually start to really do the dance. And the interaction is a masculine feminine dance. It's literally, you could call it colloquially Horus Gammus in momentum, because you are literally having this symbiotic relationship between the masculine decision and direction and the feminine dance of creation. And go back to that power, the masculine sets the frequency, the tone is the pole, and the feminine is the dancer, the weaver, the creator around it. And the pole is essential for her to create the magic.
It's really a recycle of Atlantis, isn't it? That's one way that we could view this. And we kind of got it wrong. We became very power mongering with the technologies and the abilities that came with that. And I guess this is our rerun, and I've always been showing we don't screw it up this time.
That's a hard pill to swallow. That's a very hard pill to swallow. You get a bunch of women over here and a bunch of men over here. You got two entirely different directions they're coming from. This group's going to say they're crazy, and this group's going to say you're stupid. And I'm sorry. That's if you look at the spirit or the theme of a lot of these posts, okay?
Yeah.
That's what you see. It's like, hurry up. We've been waiting on you for a long time. The last thing I'll say is where you said that the feminine took on masculine, right? Which is true, right? And by the way, people, this was all staged and strategized long before it happened. Like, for example, don't forget the Rockefellers invented the feminist movement. Now, what I'm saying is what was important about what you said about yourself and the feminine in general, in form, is they by their actions, they suppress their own feminine. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, because the masculine was the soldier for the matrix that had to put the ammunition and weaponry on and the armor and go function in brutality and all that other BS, don't think for 1 second that that's the masculine. And also understand that by virtue of doing those things, which he had no choice,
Yeah.
he had the same level of choice she had to
Yeah.
step into the masculine. He stepped away from his divine masculine. See,
Yeah.
so it's a weird inverse mirror reflection, and when we can see that the other one is the same as me, that's where this thing starts to really take off. And I believe it happens in pairs.
I get the impression I've been learning about like our DNA strands, and when we're in fight or flight, our DNA actually like gets tighter, and that swirling gets like it's not able to be influenced by anything else. But when our nervous systems are open and aligned, when we're calm, our DNA actually unwinds, and then it's able to reach a new capacity. We're able to have other things come in and influence it. I think that that particularly influences like our age that we're able to get to in these human bodies because of our DNA strands. And being in fight or flight for eons of time, we've learned that shutdown mode that happens in our nervous system that turns off our brain and turns off our digestion and just tells us to go, which also restricts, I think, our age limit in our human bodies. That when we're able to be in this flow state and calm and expanded, like our DNA system is able to be influenced by other things, and possibly our lifetime can be extended at that point as we allow other aspects of our soul self or our galactic self to come online. It's allowing ourselves to feel that expansion, that calmness, that nervous system to relax in order to expand out to the levels that we want to be in permanently.
Whether we're aware of it or not, or we can articulate it or not, we know and we are feeling something is different now. And the one thing I want to say about this is that hertz removes hertz. Hertz frequency removes the hertz. So that is our ability to be responsive to the Earth Mother's calling. And our reactions are our contributions. So bearing witness, remaining in karuna, compassion in the heart, and being the observer as everyone finds their way out of the entanglements and the trauma looping timestamps. But know that this is happening now. And just by knowing that is enough to hold that responsibility of awareness is key. And awareness holds the keys. So even if you catch yourself at the end of going into an old play, an old drama, or midway, just know it's enough. It's enough to hold the awareness. This is the key that starts unlocking, and things start to click into place very, very quickly, the quickening stage.
It's really changing, and this consciousness, I believe, is the new consciousness. And this is why when singularity occurs, right? When we quantum leap to the new earth, whatever that might be, whoever it might express for each of us, we're going to carry on the memory of what was and what we did and what we learned, and it could be anything from, you learned how to cook, or you learned how to grow a garden, or you learned how to, how to clarify water, or you learned how to, how to be a healer, how to use the new energies, to help with our hands. It doesn't, that's what we're going. That's why we're there. We're just it's kind of like we're all waiting in line to get, a school bus just went by. We're all waiting in line to get in the school bus to take us home, because we are home. It's this all these and this is home. And if you really truly look at creation, and you know, I know you're at the beach, you know, and you're surrounded by incredible, you know, it's beauty, or at the mountains. All you need to do is go outside and see the beauty of Mother to know that it's so much bigger, and that there's a reason why we're still here.
I think everybody needs to do what they need to do to be themselves. And for some reason, my soul's telling me, pick up a microphone and just go for it. I've got nothing planned. We're all coming into a higher intelligence, and that's what's asking to be activated and actualized through the efforts that we make, through the alignment of our thoughts, words, and actions.
We're not moving at the speed of light or the speed of sound anymore. We're moving at the speed of thought as a minimum, but we're moving at the speed of feeling and heart coherence. So everything, and we're in the organic, you know, AI is only the mimicry and is always even a few nanoseconds behind. It can't work and operate with our beautiful angelic human technologies where we are just directly hitting the field with each other and working with our higher brain centers.
What are you sad about, Paula? I'm like, I can't think of anything. Why do I feel like this? You know, and then I eventually remember, oh yeah, you're picking up the collective, like maybe all the people in the town around you or the country or something, because I'm getting more and more sensitive, right, to everything. And that's just a part of it. And that's okay, right? Give myself permission to be wherever I am at this, because the more I strip away of what I've been told I am or who I am, or that they're continuing, or somebody puts me on a pedestal, or whatever role I think I have to play, I don't. Just get back to being me and just strip it all away. And that's where I find my happiness, you know.
When I start working with people, they can come in very sort of paranoid and what's going on in the world, but then they start to like, oh, actually, I'm okay, I'm good, this is okay, you know. They calm, their life, their heart is okay. Their mind just needs to get back into their heart consciousness and decoding themselves rather than the outside. And therefore, it's like everything's okay.
I think, I mean, it makes sense because we spent all of our time working on the shadow, right? So anything we would look for in our past, you know, even in just this incarnation, what's our focus? Our focus is going to be on the failures, on the shadow, and very little given to the successes. So the last thing I want to say is, yeah, if we're going to go back and search through our shadows and the original traumas and the first time this happened to you or that happened to you, and have the ability through our soul, to our higher self soul, to be able to do that, then we certainly would have the same ability to go back and find out what our attributes, our greatest attributes are and strengths. Because I'm thinking about something right now that's been with me ever since I reawoke. And it's really come to the surface. And this would be in the form of service or expression or creativity type of thing. And it's really come to the forefront in the last few weeks. Like, it's not going away.
And Spirit has been showing me, because singing is alchemy. Singing is alchemy, right? And so Spirit has been really teaching me about the power of my voice. Like when I was talking about the creational power, right? Spirit's really been teaching me about this. And I feel like the reason so many people hate their voice is because our voices, right? What is your body? Your body is your temple, right? And so our voice is designed to heal anything in our being, right? So if we know that our bones are containers, we can intentionally fill our bones with music, or with the highest, holiest love, or with forgiveness, or with joy, or with whatever it is that we desire to radiate through our being. Right?
It's like we put too much power on the outside of us and not enough on the inside of us. So the focus has to be on the inside. If you've got say a relationship, and you've got you're in a relationship, and the partner comes home and his reality affects your reality, and therefore how you feel about your life will depend on how they are feeling. We'd call that an abusive relationship, yeah, because it's like, okay, I don't know how I feel. And that's what most people do with the governments and what's going on.
Sometimes, if not all the time, your greatest weakness is your greatest strength.
I feel like for me this year has been chopping wood and carrying water and building really, really, really strong foundations and allowing the natural cycle of this layer of snake skin to be shed. And when I feel into next year, there's this beautiful cosmic expansion that I'm feeling in my heart, and a deeper level of service and embodiment, and showing up with more heart, more humility, and deeper service. And I have no idea how that's going to look.
But I find less and less falling into those old loops of shame and guilt and blame and externalization, and it's all becoming a self-sourcing situation. This is how I contribute, is by kind of, smoothing the edges of my puzzle piece so it fits perfectly in the place that it's supposed to. And whatever's there meant to abut next to me will. Sometimes, if not all the time, your greatest weakness is your greatest strength in this human experience, which we're just now starting to figure out, which is like you were self-sourcing, it sounds like. I'm sure you did research and different things as well.
No, I've done no research.
Oh, right. So
I don't listen to anyone.
Good. Everything's
I don't listen
self-sourced.
to anyone.
Well, I think that's where it's headed now. That's kind of what I see.
We are so wise and so intelligent. Everybody is. And the way we have been taught is just outside of ourselves, but we have all this knowledge and intelligence within us. So it's getting the mind to actually speak to the teacher. What do you want to teach me? And to bring that through, bring that light through. We've ignored the heart, and it's like the mind has seeked information outside of itself. And that's what they want to keep going, you see, because if people start turning towards themselves and start turning towards their own wisdom, they'll build trust, they'll build belief, and they'll come in with so much intelligence that changes reality.
My thoughts, your thoughts are formulating all of this. So the prejudices, the biases, the judgment, all that stuff is perpetuating the pre-existing realm. And there may very well be, but the point is to be present and to sustain and expand your own field outside, almost like the eye of the hurricane, right? Or like Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz when she's in that tornado and all those things are spinning around her. We're in the center of it, and all of that is, the field. And I think what you're bringing up, that's happening regardless of any nefarious whatever narratives you want to follow, this is bigger than all of us. This is happening, and you can let go or be dragged. So coming down to a place in a heavy density with all this BS and distortion and all the things that we've created in this incredible realm that's been a great teacher, it's still all going to be based, or well, it still operates, or the what would you say, the premier GPS navigational system has evolved and taken on a new operating system, and that's a soul-based embodiment like you're talking about, and starting to actually align the thoughts and words and actions, because there's no middle ground anymore. It's either all or nothing. If there's anything that would instantly change everything, would be everyone knowing that it's all connected and it's not just words.
Ma chawe samete o chivasi e kamatai ma setia achiamate me sawe chawatamake e sawe chamate matea chema sawe mate. Esta matikia tamataya mahaya. E chamatia ya sakataya matoi. E samataya ya.